When you're ready to speak.
There we go. Good afternoon. Welcome to the BORCAB, the Bay Oaks Recreational Campus Advisory Board meeting. It is Wednesday, October 22nd, and it is 12:02 p.m. And let's begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. Please stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, and we will begin with the roll call, beginning with John. And John, so nice to have you here
Well, it's good
today.
to be here. I'm sorry that it's become a little more rare, but at least thank you to Zoom that I can.
Yes, that's been very effective.
John DeSleer.
I appreciate
You
that.
have to hit the button when you talk. You're getting pointed at.
John DeSleer is here.
Joy Sullivan. Michelle Cherney.
Barbara Hill.
Annie Neef.
Neil Mathis, Parks and Rec Manager.
Jeff Hauge.
Hello, everyone, and I would love to formally introduce our new members. We have Annie, who is, I believe, an instructor at Bay Oaks,
Yep, I'm the yoga instructor.
yoga instructor. Would you just like to say just a couple of words about who you are and your interest in Bay Oaks?
Hi. Yeah, I live here in town. I've been leading yoga classes at Bay Oaks and on the fitness court when we've had little hurricane problems for, I don't know, 7, 8 years now, however long it's been, and happy to do my part.
Welcome.
Thank you.
I did not know it was 7 or 8 years. That's very, very cool.
Yep, between working with another instructor and just my own thing, then
Excellent.
yeah, it's been a while.
Welcome.
Thank you.
And then we have Rick, who is on Zoom. And before we talk with Rick, I'd like to be able to get a consensus from our attending members if he is permitted to be involved with our meeting today.
So
Everyone
moved.
agree?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Agreed.
All right,
Aye.
Rick, welcome. And tell
you
us a
doing?
bit about yourself. I think you've been part of Bay Oaks for many years, have you not?
I've been an island resident for 25 years, and many of them have been very involved with Bay Oaks in one way or another, from coaching or being involved in sports and other activities there. So, but yep, so I've been very involved with Bay Oaks. So.
Welcome. It's nice to have you.
Thank you.
Literally on board.
Glad to be a part of the board. So.
I also want to thank Becky Guidry, who has been a member of Bay Oaks for a long time, but she opted to no longer renew her appointment with Bay Oaks, but we wish her well and we thank her for the service that she gave to Bay Oaks during the years that she was involved. And with that, we now have
Barbara,
nominations, excuse me.
Ed Schoonover is also
Oh,
on.
yes, Ed. Sorry, I didn't see your image up there way above. Ed, good morning, or actually, it's good afternoon. And do we also accept Ed to be part of the proceedings today? So move?
Yes.
All
Yes.
approve? Yes, we
Yes.
have your approval. And Karen has just joined the meeting. Welcome, Karen. So thank you, Ed, for being here on Zoom. And with that, we will have now the nominations for the vice president and the president of BORCAB. As you know, I'm stepping down. I've been vice chair. I've been member now, I think, for over 8 years, and vice chair for, I think, 6, 7 years. But in any event, I would like for the newbies to be involved and for me to be able to take a back seat for a change. So with that, I'd like to entertain nominations from BORCAB for chair.
I nominate Michelle Cherney for chair.
Okay, thank you, Joy.
A second.
And we have a second?
Yes,
John
second.
did.
Second, John, from John second, okay. Any other nominations for president, for chair? There being none, the nominations are closed, and I'd like to be able to have a motion that we will accept Joy Sullivan as Chair of BORCAB. All in favor?
No, we said Michelle.
Opposed?
Aye.
You said Joy.
I'm sorry, oh, yes, I'm sorry. Excuse me, yes, it's Joy, I mean, Michelle. That's why I'm stepping down, folks. So Michelle as President of BORCAB. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, opposed? None. Okay, thank you, and congratulations, Michelle.
Thank
As new President of BORCAB.
You will still
And-
sit by me and help me.
Yes, I will. And so we have nominations now that are open for the Vice Chair. And may I entertain a motion for someone to nominate a member of BORCAB for Vice Chair? I would
I'll
like to
nominate
nominate
Joy Sullivan if
Joy.
she'd be
Oh,
willing to take
Ed?
the position.
Ed, I'm sorry?
Did you hear me?
Now we can.
Can you hear me now?
Not barely.
Yes, now.
Okay, I'd like to nominate Joy Sullivan if she would be so kind to accept the vice chair position.
Okay, Ed, thank you very much for nominating
welcome.
Joy for Vice Chair. Any other nominations for Vice Chair?
I'd like to second that.
Okay, excellent. No, nominations are closed, and we now have a motion before the BORCAB to accept Joy Sullivan as the Vice Chair of BORCAB. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None. Both Chair and Vice Chair have been unanimously approved by BORCAB to serve as President, or Chair and Vice Chair. Thank you very much. And with that, I will now turn the meeting over to Michelle to run the rest of the meeting. Congratulations.
Well, thank you.
I would give you a gavel, but we have none.
All right, with your guidance, I will proceed. So I think the next is the approval of the minutes from September 17th. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes?
I so move.
Second?
Second.
All in
Well,
favor?
No, and I have one thing, if I might, Madam Chair.
Yes, please go ahead.
If we could just fix Howie's name in the public comment section.
Oh, yeah.
His name is, my minutes are very small here on my phone, but it says Howie's name is incorrect.
Yeah, it says Huff instead of Hoffman.
Well, if we're going to go there, then we may as well, my name is spelled with one L.
I'm sorry if I get that confused. My mom is 2 L's.
That's all right. My mom did it, so everybody would spell my name wrong for the rest of my life. All right, with those two changes, do we have a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
Second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We accept the minutes. All right, do we have any, no. Public comment, no? All right, staff liaison report.
We're gonna do a little tag team again on this one. I'll kind of give you the overview of some of the grants, the CDBG-DR, and the park grant, and then we can move on to the actual programming and all the good stuff Neil's been doing. So, I mean, budget-wise, I guess everyone probably saw that our budget got slashed fairly heavily, which means, you know, if you watch the council meeting, the budget hearings, that some things that we'd normally have, we will no longer be, or may no longer be able to provide, such as weekends being open extra hours at Bay Oaks. We do have I guess what you call a skeleton staff, being that it's Halloween, I think I can say that. But the hours that we have posted now are pretty much the stretch that we can do. You know, if someone takes vacation or they're sick, that seriously puts us in a little bind. So, it is what it is. we can just hope for better times next year, for sure, and then be able to open. With that said, we still have been working on
just get-
added access to Bay Oaks.
Oh, that's what I was just gonna ask, okay.
We did just get a quote to, just this morning at 8:20, right before we met, to put surveillance cameras and key fobs in for some extra hours that we may be able to be open for the weight room and cardio. We're still running it through legal, though. I mean, that's probably gonna be the biggest thing, is how does our liability kind of handle that? If, make sure if the fire alarm goes off, which doors are egress, which ones unlock with the mag locks. I think generally all of them do, but signage, if someone gets hurt, what do they use? Do we need a phone in there? Things like that logistically we're working on, but we did get a quote for it to go forward. So we're still kind of working out some of those logistics as far as, key fobs for that. They'll probably be different than your little badge you scan in with. Are we gonna scan in? But that's the steps we're at right now. So we are still kind of moving forward on the idea of being open some extra hours. It won't be 24 hours, obviously, but maybe some hours on the weekends, being open maybe till 11, being open in the morning at like 5. We talked about, the security part of it. What if somebody opens a door or brings in 5 of their friends to work out, those kind of things, which will be video monitored. So I know, just from talking to other staff, I think it was, I don't know, not Crunch, was it? It was Anytime Fitness.
Anytime Fitness.
Like, they monitor it 24 hours a day, and it'd be an off-site monitoring. And if they see somebody sneaking past, then that pass holder they'd get revoked. So I don't know if it's something like that. I don't want to talk about the negatives right now. I think the positives is we're moving forward with it, even with the budget constraints, and we do have the park impact fees that will end up paying for that we have. So it won't necessarily come out of the budget. I know I'll talk some money here, but that one will not hit our bottom line. We have park impact fees, or basically park improvement fees that we get. That would be able to cover that, and I'll talk about a few other things we're hopefully going to spend that money on. We have about $250,000 that we can spend from park impact fees throughout the year. So that's kind of on the hours and kind of the follow-up with the fob system. Hopefully we can get that going, as soon as we can, to have more hours for everyone. So, just like everything else with the budget, we slashed just about everything. Not everything. I mean, there's still some there, but every line item we made cuts to. So some of that will affect, what happens in the park. Luckily, we have these park improvement funds to improve the park a little bit. Those can't be for necessarily to improve. It's not really park improvement. It has to be something new to enhance. Like, we don't have a monitoring system, and we don't have a fob system to get in. So we have that. I mean, it's not for redoing a fence or, even the road impact fees. It's not to redo the road. It's to improve the road, widening it. So it's kind of a wishy-washy kind of thing, but we can improve it, but we have to do something that's new for the residents. So things like the shade sales, we can still do those. We're still working on the shade sales at the fitness court. Now that we know we have a little money to do that, before we were kind of at a crossroads as to how we were going to fund those. But we are starting to get quotes for that, for both that and then the pickleball court, to get a shade sale in the middle where the kind of the gathering place is going to be between the two courts. So also the walking path, if you've been down there, I know to satisfy the $1 million grant, we had to have a walking path. Well, of course, funds were tight. When we got that, we probably could have done concrete before Hurricane Ian, how many years ago. But so we're going to use some of that impact fees to pay for a cement walking track path, 6 feet wide, that'll go all the way around the park. That way, anybody with strollers, whether it's a kid or dog or pets, or wheelchairs, people with walkers or accessibility issues will have a much easier time. It's also much more resilient. If we get that flooded, the concrete unless it gets, picked up, the rock is just the shell is just gonna probably wash away. So we're gonna spend a little money and improve that. The park is gonna be hydro seeded one more time. That was all part of the plan. When we hydro seeded it was during rainy season. We kind of knew that, but we needed to get some grass on the field to fulfill the loan or the grant. So, so that as far as the grant goes for the park, it's done. I know it doesn't look great. We're going to still do modifications on it. They're going to come and hydro seed it again now that it's not rainy season, and then continue to water it, and then the whole field will be grass and maintained. So, the pickleball courts, we are still working with the company. Hopefully, they can start soon to start the pickleball court or to start painting the pickleball courts. I just gave you a really rough design after we had to move it because we still have plumbing and electrical on that pad where the town hall was that we have to get out. It's very rough. It's not the scale. It's not even how the courts are going to be situated. I think the plan is to have 2 courts, and in the middle of those 2 courts where it kind of bends, is to have, and correct me if I'm wrong, Neil, is to have more of a kind of your pavilion and benches where you can wait there. So it'll kind of be split up 2 courts with a little bit of an area in between for a gathering spot that'll have a drinking fountain, that kind of thing. So they'll also have access to the courts through there too. So the plan isn't to have them, 4 right on top, back to back. It's going to have a little gathering area in the middle for that. So that's pretty much the extent of the park, the grant that we got, the $1 million with the $1 million match. So we're wrapping that up, and then that should be complete. And then we can work on other improvements, the shade sails, those kind of things. So
So Jeff, just help me understand. I know there's been some sort of delay, I don't know, because I thought we were originally talking about the end of September or something, and now it's almost the end of October. I just think people, it's not a criticism, I just want to know, is there a plan? Do you have a project lead, or, what's the ETA?
Well, we have to put out the concrete walking path. We have to put out as an ITB intent to bid. That is like we've talked about with the pool, and we've talked about other things. We have to put it out for 30 days. We're working on the ITB right now. Should be finalized hopefully by next week. Then it has to go out 30 days, and then it has to wait after we bid it, or after the bids come in. We do a bid opening, and then it's a 30-day kind of a wait period, a protest bid period, if you will. For 30 days, and then we can award after that. And then it goes to council, then they can award. So the actual concrete path probably will be, I'd say, 2 to 3 months yet, or I'd say 3 months to get that started. So
But what is the timeline on finishing the pickleball courts?
as soon as they can get in, we haven't scheduled it. I think you've been playing phone tag with them. So they said they can do it soon, but we haven't got a hold of them to actually. We've been trying. I would say in the next 2 weeks, possibly, maybe earlier.
All right, and can we talk, we're just getting pounded because the notes, as being on the BORCAB, everybody knows that we're the word coming up here. And if we didn't it's really not even fun playing pickleball right now because all they do is beat up us. And I went back on my notes, and my notes go back to June 2nd, the courts were supposed to be open, and here we are.
The grant isn't ended until October 31st, so it's at least it was going to be that.
Yeah, with the delays, but we've got, we moved the pickleball court, so people just showed up. We didn't have any discussions on that. Now we've just got this concrete slab sitting out there. There was debates. It is tight with the ATP that you need. You've got 30 feet in width going on back there. Now you're telling me you're going to put a sitting area in between there. And just going back to, the pickleball courts, last year when we said we were going to take over the tennis courts, we just kind of threw some tape out there. We've got some nuts that aren't really working. This morning, we had 9 courts. We had to move to Ocean Harbor because we do not have enough courts here. And we don't even have all the seasonal people here yet. And Ocean Harbor's been nice enough. They've got 9 courts over there, and we had them full today. And that doesn't include what you had over here. But so when are the courts gonna be done, and what are we doing to them? Are we putting fences? Are we professionally painting them like a full pickleball court? What size fences are we putting up? Everyone's concerned about the road over there with the balls flying on the roadside. Can you be a
Sure.
little bit more elaborate on what you're gonna be doing?
wanna
And
talk about that?
give me a better time frame that we can go back and communicate to the community?
Yeah, it's the same company that we got to do this as we did the tennis courts. So yeah, it'll be professionally done. So,
Okay.
but I'll let Neil talk about the specifics.
Yeah, so what we've kind of discussed is, what Jeff touched on, is having like 2 courts in a fenced enclosure. You can't really fence them all in one enclosure because of the curve right there. But basically, it will be like a shaded area in between the courts. We did have to go back and redo the asphalt because the first job that they did, there was a lot of like low points. And the company that's going to be doing the work, they said basically you need to wait at least like a month to let that asphalt cure, because if you try to come in before that and put down the actual surface for the pickleball courts, you can have a lot of defects and issues like that. So we're, from that second pour, we're right around about that time frame. But he's local, working on another job, literally right across the street, so he can start right away. So we hope to have that done, hopefully by, November, end of November timeframe. I know that's,
But more specifically, so
Right.
they're gonna be painted pickleball courts?
yes.
And
No, you're not
what-
gonna see that
But
black
what's on,
top
what's
once-
on the bid for the fencing? And
So-
where are the plans on where the fences are gonna be laid out?
What we've discussed, I don't have like a site plan exactly for the fencing, but basically.
But how
like-
can we say that we're gonna have them open in a month when we don't even have
We
a
do,
site
we
plan?
have the quote includes the fencing.
Right.
So it'll go around, we just have to give an area for the permit. So they'll do, I think is it 8 or 10 feet on the,
He's gonna do 8 feet is what we talked about, like that whole like back side of both enclosures, like that it goes right up against that road right there between the ball field. That would be the high point. And then they would also like basically come around on the sides, the short sides would be high, and then come around to the front, because you're not gonna enter from the street, you can enter from the sides, but also from like the front where that sidewalk is where you'll have gate access there. And that would start at 8 feet, but then like kind of come down like on an angle to 5 feet. So, the front of the courts would be like a lower height. And there will be dividers between like courts 1 and 2, and then also between 3 and 4. So, you don't have to worry about your ball going onto the court.
So when you say we've talked about it, has it been ordered?
we have, the quote has been signed, we just have to schedule now that the asphalt's ready.
So is there an opportunity that we could get some people, i.e. Pam, to look at, and a few pickleball players to look at those plans, just to make sure that we haven't missed anything before we drop everything in?
We could have a private meeting if you'd like, yes.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
I mean,
it's
these guys do courts all over Southwest Florida and Florida, so they have a good idea what they're doing. Not severe courts.
Okay.
And I think we did get rid of the tape on the pickleball courts, on the tennis courts, right? It's now painted
Yeah,
lines.
we put in permanent lines.
And we'll do an assessment of the nets, if those need to get redone, we can do that, but there should be 7 courts back there.
There are. Well, let's have some further discussions on tennis courts. So, again, worst case scenario, when would the 4 pickleball courts be open?
End of November would be the latest, I would think, but we all know that delays happen, and
Okay.
yeah, there's a lot of moving parts to Bay Oaks Park, and not just pickleball. I mean, there's the pool we're trying to get open, there's the grant we're trying to get done. We did some additional, well, and that's the other thing, if we think that vehicle traffic is gonna be an issue by the pickleball court, we'll just block that off like it had been in the past. We could
We've
do
all
that.
been, everyone's been parking back here, so, what's right, we moved. Everyone's been parking up in the parking lots and walking back.
We have 8 additional spots that we made down by Bay Oaks, just because that was a need that the
Yeah, and
residents
we've
had
been
said.
letting those that, a little bit harder to walk further back, we've been leaving those, people leave the spots for them, so.
Yeah.
That's great having.
But we
those.
they did have a gate before that didn't allow vehicle, but we get it from both sides. Why can't I drive back there? It's hard for me to walk back there. So it's just a matter of balancing all that. I mean, making everyone happy isn't gonna happen, so.
Oh, yeah, no, I think it's fine.
But we can definitely do that, but I just, we opened it kind of for a reason, and
No, and it's been working great for those who cannot walk, so I think nobody else has been taking advantage of that.
Okay.
All right, so the communication would be the end of November, we'll have the additional 4 courts open.
that's the plan, as long as they can schedule us in. It shouldn't take them very long. It didn't take them long to paint the tennis courts, 2 days.
Yeah,
Something like
just a
that,
few-
so.
yeah, I mean, and that was one guy, they'll have a full crew for this, so.
Yeah, but progress, at least we have progress on this. Now, the pool, I guess we have progress. The CDBG DR money, so we had it out for bid for design. We had one company, I think, did we talk about this last meeting? I guess I don't remember. One company that did bid it, or that put in a bid proposal. When we reviewed it, there was some red flags for us. When we went to BizHub, the company that they bid it under wasn't a valid company. Now, yes, that is definitely an issue. Now, they do have other companies. They work in, how they explained it, and I'll just say how they explained it for fairness, is that they have multiple companies that they use. These two just got together to do this project, and we're gonna call it something else, their business, but they didn't bid it that way. So we didn't get a great feeling on that, so we ended up having the council reject that bid. I think there would have been some issues with that. One being they said they could redo it on BizHub like by the end of the day, but why didn't they do it before they bid? That was kind of our thing. So we only had one this time. If you remember right, we had two the time before. They did not rebid. So now we're back to it. I believe it went out this morning. If we know any companies that you want to not recommend, but just let them know that we're doing this design, they have 30 days on DemandStar to put that in. Now again, we don't have to get 3 like we had before. We only need to get 1 as long as they are, our selection committee approves that, we can go with them. But right now we're having a hard time people just getting in here to design it.
Jeff, when does that close, that process?
30 days probably from today.
Today, okay.
I'm pretty sure this one went, we have this Newton Park and the North Water Tower on that. I believe it went out today, but I'll let everyone know, but it's 30 days from whenever we advertise for 7 days, I'm sorry, and then it goes out, and then they have 30 days, so.
Thank you.
And Jeff, is that for the design or the actual?
That's
rebuild?
just the design. We're still on the
looking
design.
for bids just for the design.
We've gone through, this is our 3rd round of design to try to get one. The first one, if you remember, we only had 2 companies. We needed 3 as far as the Lee County and the HUD requirements. We needed 3. Then they said, okay, well, you've already done your due diligence. If you only get 1, you can go with 1. We got 1. And I explained kind of our process on that, and having, our recommendation was to have the council reject that and go back out for bids. So it's really, I hate to say it, but it's not from lack of trying.
Jeff, I
Where's-
want to add something on, definitely in having your back on this and giving background to whoever wants the background is municipalities who are building aquatic centers right now are building aquatic centers that are a minimum of $12 to $15 million for a basic aquatic center. So they're not going to be as attracted to something like this. So Job's level of patience is about half of what we need in this whole process. It's not going to get easier because, and that's not me leaning in saying this isn't a big enough project. This is the project that we have. This is the ability that we have to do. And, going to maybe it's more for my time, in looking at what the project really is. I know we're pretty far down the road and certainly don't want to start that again, but we're in the price category of the retro pool, the retrofitting of pools, not necessarily what we think we're headed towards. And you can do that really well close to the amount of money that we have with the companies that come in and do a retrofit of your pool, rather than, it's really a rebuild.
It probably should be, yeah, because this is almost a retro. I mean, we can't
Yeah.
change the footage of the actual pools. You know, we can't make them bigger. It's just part of
Yeah.
what it is. So it's not like we can extend it, make it, I mean, the footprint is our footprint right now. Now, we can do some of the hardscape and make improvements to it, but we can't change the footprint of the actual pool, which is, you're right.
Yeah. Well, that's where there's a whole, I wouldn't call it a cottage industry, it's an industry within the industry that is coming in situations like this. Okay, you can't build the $20 million facility. You have a hole, you have a pool. Its plaster is probably shot because it's sat, who knows, other things, where they basically put a new, different type of surface in the same hole. And I'm not telling you something you don't know, but maybe just to fill in for everybody else, you know, how that industry works from, 50,000 feet is, people aren't gonna be knocking down the doors for what we're really leaning in, telling the world that we want.
Right. We just need that one.
I know, and they're out there, it's just finding them.
Yeah.
I mean,
So,
I heard your question that we can help look for vendors. Can you help with the scope of the design? What do we?
it's
look-
on, so basically I would just tell them that we have a pool bid out, it's on Demand Star. I'm sorry, I'd have to,
But is the design just looking at the scope of the work that needs to be done, or actually going and quoting the?
it's the
refurbishing?
design to give to a bid process to
process.
actually, bid process to actually build it. So, that's kind of what this is our third time going at it. We hope third time's the charm, if you want to go with that saying.
Do we know anybody does anybody in the board know anybody that we can reach out to?
They've been reached.
John, that's not what I wanted to hear.
I know. It's not what I wanna say.
Yeah,
want
and John, thank you for that, because,
Yeah.
yeah, if it was a $12, $13 million, $20 million facility, we'd
Yeah.
probably have people,
Yeah.
we'd have to,
I mean, because these are people that I know,
yeah.
and this is gonna be a good update to them.
Yeah. So, yeah, you're right, John, and that's a good way to put it. That's probably why we're finding such few, but, I believe we can reach out and just say, hey, look, we're rebidding this to the ones that did it the first time around. This is, and I don't wanna keep, beating this, but this is the money we have to get a pool back. We
Yeah.
don't have any other options, right now. Not to say we won't in the future, not that we won't stop trying to write grants, but grants in general right now have been going down. We talked about even CellCab. We tried to do 32 grants. All of them got kicked down this year. There's no longer funding available. So it's just the nature of where we are right now. And I think you're right, John. We don't stop the process. This might be our shot for a while.
How far can Joe Public, being me, get into Demand Star to see what it is to better educate my calls to people?
That I'm not sure.
Because
I'd
it's
check
a
with the clerk's
subscription
office.
type
Yeah.
of service for the industry.
Sure.
But when who've been in it for
Yeah.
30, 40 years on the other end, I don't want to give I don't know as an answer to anybody that I'm going to
Sure.
approach on.
Was there
uh,
any reason why?
And they can
BORCAB
look, but I need to sell it for them to even look.
I
Yeah,
want to
But
say,
is there any reason BORCAB can't request a copy of that bid since it's underneath our platform?
sure.
Can we have,
So if
The
you-
ITB
if
on
we
that?
could get
Sure,
that,
yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna
the
say
better.
It's
email
probably,
the-
more than
email the-
likely it's on our website anyway. I gotta
Yeah,
look though.
email the bid out to all of us, and then I challenge everybody in this group to go out and find 2 or
Yeah.
3 pool companies to help.
Yeah, and again, we're not
Roll this
recommending.
along.
That'll throw this thing
No, we
for a
can't
total
do that.
loop. Don't recommend.
no,
No, I'm just being clear. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want this, I don't want to get somebody good and then because
we want to expose
Yeah.
that this job is available.
Yes.
that's how we get, right, that's how we get bid protests and have to go rebid
Yeah.
again, so.
Yeah.
So how exhaustive were your searches with regard to this redo of the pool in the first place? Because from what I understand from Neil, they looked at virtually every pool company that was qualified. I think that's the operative word, that's qualified to redo this pool, and that they just didn't come forward with a bid. So are we saying that we're missing some people that we hadn't approached?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it goes out, anybody in the entire US can see it. And I'm
So-
guessing if I'm a pool company, I mean, well, we can bring in the clerk's office next time. I'm not an expert on Demand Star. I'm just giving the word out that it's out there. So, I mean, I'm assuming if you're a pool company, you know how to get on. But I don't know. I can find that out from the clerk's office on if anybody can just get on Demand Star or if you need a license number to get on. I really don't know. But I can get you the ITV for sure.
The
they will.
wall is pretty soon, right away when you try to find stuff.
Yeah,
The wall's up for,
yeah.
access to the.
And I know people can get alerts, like, I'm assuming, if we did community pool, this scope, people get alerts on it, like, this is going out for bid, or this one, so. Yeah, I would encourage that, Michelle, so thank you, I'll send it out, and then, right now, again, we're just looking for design. And the pool is there, it's not like you're redesigning the entire thing, but we also don't know what it looks like underneath. We don't know what the piping looks like. We know we have to redo and raise the pump room. And costs on that aren't going down anytime soon, so.
In
Yeah.
the, I know we've been down some tangents on the legal side of how all the bids work, but, the other thing that's in this industry and in many of them now, can who gets the design build the design?
No.
Because that's the other thing, is this industry is consolidated and they all have their own design house for the pool they're gonna bid on.
Yes, no,
And
that,
so
if
there's-
you get the bid on the design, you cannot.
I know it's not just swimming, and it's all over the
If you
place.
do even a scope for the bid that goes out, you cannot bid the actual construction of it.
Okay.
I think I don't know for sure, but I'm guessing it's just maybe an unfair advantage.
Yeah, only
Somehow.
we know how to do this design.
Yeah, so, that's where we're sitting at the pool. I just wanna, I
Okay.
keep saying it, for how many months now, I was hoping, and we were kinda told at the beginning of the CDBG-DR project that you were gonna get the money quick. It's just not happening. I mean, we look at Newton too, which is probably gonna be the easiest project, cause there's no actual real structure to it, besides some cheeky huts. And we're still waiting on design for that, so.
The motivational worst-case scenario question, does that money time out at some point?
No, we're still okay. We actually have weekly meetings with them. We have internal weekly meetings with our staff about CDBG-DR, just because it is so much paperwork and so many regulations. And then we have one with the county every week, every Wednesday morning, we have it with the county. So, yeah, they're not, I mean, they're, I
Is
wouldn't
there
say
the
I wouldn't say they're
capacity or a-
concerned,
Okay.
but they're pressing us to
Sure.
keep moving forward, which we are, and they know the struggles. They've offered, they've been helping us out too with, reaching out to people and putting the word out there. So they said it's not uncommon with the CDBG-DR money projects. It's just a lot of hoops to go through, hoops we need to go through to get the pool, which we're doing, and it's just been a process. So I'm sorry I don't have better news, but hopefully in a month and a half, we'll have a designer.
Well, I tried to give the worst news, so you still look better, so.
Thank you, sir. But yeah, I know, I hear it still, whether it's on Facebook or people calling me up or emailing me about the pool, and, we're getting a park, and then, well, but what about the pool? Yes, I know, I know, and that's fine, keep calling if you'd like, I can discuss, what the process is a little bit more, but it's a process, and that's part of that $1.8 billion that the county got, so tells you how big that project is. Other than that, what else was I gonna talk about? Sorry, I took up a lot of time.
It's okay.
I don't
I've just kind of got my report, and I did provide a copy of it, because this is a little more like to up to date than the actual like monthly report that we put out, because that goes out at the beginning of the month, so this kind of fills in the time between. But we've made good progress with Bay Oaks as far as some of the items with the actual rec center and then our recreational programs. We've been adding the white vinyl fencing you see to extend behind the rec center. We've added some new mulch and some stone on the front where the garden clubs area is, and then around on the sides of the rec center. We added 8 parking spots behind the rec center, so that's a big help for all our pickleball players. And then we've got a new hours of operation sign, so we updated the sign in the front entrance. And then just recreation programs. We're up to 25 kids now in our Club Rec after-school program. That second bullet point is from the last report, so disregard that. Our fitness and gym, just check-ins, we've had 741 check-ins from September 1st to October 21st. So it's starting to pick up. I know in season it's going to pick up even more. The morning hours are our busiest time, from about 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. For open basketball on Friday evenings, we're averaging about 10 to 14 participants. And then fitness classes, all our classes have started back up as of Friday, October 17th. This includes a spin, senior spin, and tone, Zumba, gentle yoga, and Iyengar yoga. We're also talking to someone about a possible Tai Chi class. And that might actually end up being something that's offered over at the Mound House. So, but one way or another, hopefully we'll get that started back up here. And then, or started, I should say. So we have fun days available that week of Thanksgiving. That's the Monday through Wednesday. Thursday, Friday will be closed for the holiday, but we have those fun days available those 3 days. And then the BOSS program's going well. Barbara's doing a great job scheduling. She scheduled trips through the end of March 2026. Right now we've released the November, December trips. It was great at the grand reopening. We got a lot of people that were interested, so we're starting to see, we've got individual signups for all our trips, and everything's in our Civic Rec program now, so they can pay for the trips they want to do. And there's no cost to be in the BOSS program, so it's really kind of a la carte, whatever trips they want to do. And there's no, non-resident, resident charge. It's, flat rate for each trip. So that's going well. We're starting to see some good signups on those trips. We're also looking to start a euchre card group and like a coffee and crochet group that meets, could be weekly, could be like once a month in that community room. We've got some interest. We just, hopefully we'll get a few more to make it, actually happen. So Barbara's working on that. We had youth sports clinics advertised, and it was basically for the middle school ages, because we're trying to do more for our middle school age kids. And we didn't get a whole lot of demand initially, but we did get some parents that had 5th graders that we felt like it was close enough. We could kind of include 5th graders in that. So we've kind of rescheduled the start date to November 10th on that program. And it's going to run on Mondays and Thursdays for 6 weeks, from 6 to 7:30 p.m. And hopefully we'll get a few more, but I think we're up to like 3 or 4 right now, and we can still make that work. And that's kind of like the direction, because we're having troubles with getting like the numbers to do leagues, is kind of offering more like clinics where we can kind of teach kids the fundamentals of like different sports, and still like offer programming like that, and not have to have the huge numbers that we'd have to have like, baseball leagues and our own, sports leagues. We do have a family holiday event that we just booked on December 18th. It's basically Murray the Moose and Santa. This is a local author that has a book that he wrote called How Murray Saved Christmas. So Santa and the Moose will come in character. He'll do a book reading for families, and we're going to offer it from 5 to 7. So a lot of our Club Rec kids, the parents can come in and they can do like their holiday pictures with Santa. We'll have like some, refreshments, and they can do like a holiday craft as well. So it'll be a nice event. It's a free event. There's no charge to the town for this. He just will have his books available for anybody that wants to purchase one of the books, and he can autograph his books. So it's kind of fun. Senior softball start back on November 4th. and they'll be in the mornings, Tuesdays and Thursdays at the ball field. So we're looking forward to that. And then we've got our Beach Kid Foundation pickleball tournament. That's going to be Saturday, November 15th. And then they've got individual tournaments that will be going on for beginners, intermediate, and advanced players. We also just signed a contract with Powerlifting America. They're going to be renting the rec center to do basically like a powerlifting competition. That'll be Saturday, November 8th. And that's something that we've done previously at the rec center, so.
It's probably on your list too, but we finally got a team, a Little League team to come and practice and play,
Yeah.
hopefully Tuesday, Thursday. Right now they're starting with Thursdays. They're a team out of kind of Fort Myers, but they wanted to come down and take a look and think we have one of the better ball fields that they practice on. They were practicing in Lee County, but it was hard to get fields, so they came down, took a look at ours, and they're going to be using it probably Tuesdays and Thursdays during the season, and possibly Saturdays. So they want the Bay Oaks Little League field to be their home spot. So yeah, so even without lights, they're excited about it. So.
Awesome.
We've also been in contact with a couple of different youth basketball organizations, reached out to the AAU National Basketball. I actually talked to their coordinator, and we're looking at dates for like a weekend basketball tournament at Bay Oaks, somewhere in the time frame of like February to June of 2026, but that's exciting. AAU is nationwide, so they'll really give us hopefully some good exposure there at the rec center. I'm also meeting with a group that's with the TNBA, that's another youth basketball organization, and they're affiliated with the Orlando Magic. It's the TNBA out of Tampa. So they're going to come down and look at the facility actually tomorrow. Hopefully we could, get a clinic there, and then maybe if it goes well, kind of branch off into some tournaments. And then we've got another team that I think I mentioned this at the last meeting that is local to Southwest Florida. It's an AAU team that is looking to expand. They're a newer team, but they've really grown in the last year to the point where they need more facilities for all the kids that they have. So hopefully we'll have, a good chance at getting them here and using our facility on a regular basis. And that would be probably like the beginning, like January, February of 2026. We've also been looking at it's a program called Peach Jar. It's what the Lee County School District uses. It's kind of a third party if you want to have your flyers distributed to the schools. So we're looking at that just because it used to all run through the school district, but they have a third party now, and just to see how that would work and if that's something that might make sense for us to try to broaden our reach with some of our programming. Certainly Heights Elementary, Lexington Middle School, a lot of the elementary and middle schools that are off McGregor that kind of have a straight shot here. Be great to get some of these flyers going homes with the kids, to parents, and help us get the word out a little bit more. So we're looking into that. And then we did meet at the library last week, Aaron and myself, to just talk about Bay Oaks Park a little bit and some of the programming that we have at the rec center. So it was a really nice meeting that we had, and they actually want to reach out to the Friends group to have the Friends come at one of their future meetings to be like a guest speaker. So, but yeah, then we had like about 50 people, I think, for our grand reopening, so that was really good. We got a lot of good exposure there. We had 14 vendors, so I thought it was a huge success last week. And then don't forget, we've got our Fright Night coming up on Friday. We're expecting about 300 guests. That's from 6 to 9 p.m. on the ball field. We have 6 inflatables, a DJ, food truck. We have a stilt walker that's coming. That's going to be doing balloon animals for the kids in costume. We have a table where we're going to have small little miniature pumpkins where the kids can, with stickers, decorate and take a pumpkin home with them. We'll have Karen will be there as one of our judges for the costume contest, and we're doing a trunk or treat. So we're going to also award the best, trunk or treat. And then we also have Will, our town manager, and then Howie will be our other judge. So that should be a lot of fun. We're looking forward to a great time with that. And that's pretty much my report, so I don't know if anybody you have any questions, but.
Do we have enough volunteers after the 3 I gave you? Do we have enough? Because I have.
We do, and we've been putting them through HR, just because they have to, go through a application process, and we have to have them like sign in the day of, just so everything's done properly. But we've been doing that, we've been sending everybody that we have, to HR and also sending them that application, so we should be good. My son's coming out, it's really the inflatables that are the biggest need. And we have 6, so we wanted to try to have 2 volunteers, so if somebody needs to take a break, there's still somebody there.
And do we have, I saw Publix, thank you for the candy. Do we
Yeah,
have
I
enough
don't-
supplies?
So, yeah,
Do we
on
need any
Mon-
more supplies
No,
donated?
we're just getting a few more gift cards for the contest winners, but as far as candy, we're set with what Publix gave us on Monday. It was like my whole cart was full. I thought it was gonna be 1 box, it was like 5 boxes, so we're set on candy. Yeah, I'm actually gonna be dropping off
So
a
do you
thank you
need a
letter to
couple
them.
more gift cards?
That'd be great if you
For-
wanna do a couple.
And
Yeah.
that's for the judging, for the
Yeah,
prizes?
for the costume contest winners and the trunk or treat winners. So, we've got like about a third of them, but we will go out and get the rest. But if anybody would like to donate, we're trying to do all gift cards for Amazon for that.
So Amazon gift cards. if
Yeah, and I
anybody
can
donate 'em.
email you the amounts, because we're doing like different amounts for like first, second, and third place, so,
All right.
yeah.
Yeah, and I just want to again thank everyone that donated to it, because we don't have a budget for special events, so we were lucky enough to get this entire event paid for, I believe, whether it was through donations or donations of candy. I mean, obviously we'll have to pay the staffing, but that's well worth it. But it's community members, Beach Talk put it out too, and we probably got a lot of candy through them, and volunteers. So we couldn't do this without the residents and the town's help. So yeah, I just want to say thank you to all of you that did donate.
And another thing I want to mention, just with pickleball, before I forget, is with the new fee schedule that just came out for this budget year, the indoor pickleball play is included in the membership. So there's no additional charge as long as you have a 6-month or an annual resident or non-resident membership. So we'd love to get some of the folks that are going over, and, because I know our outdoor courts, season's coming up, and we're getting more and more players each week out there, but we'd love to have, everybody come in and play, and maybe there's a way to look at, and I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, but certainly like extending those hours a little earlier, because I know everybody wants to get up and get going early, and 10 a.m., is maybe a little bit too late, so maybe there's a way to look at that, because we'd certainly, maybe if we can't get everybody inside, maybe some are outside, some are inside, but, we'd love to have everybody there. So-
Do we have, or have they been published? I know, thank you for the
Yeah.
pickleball update, but are the new fee schedule been released to the public?
I believe it's on our Bay Oaks page. I just talked to Nicole, our PIO, and we looked at it, and I believe those are current that are on the webpage.
So they're on the webpage?
At the town's webpage.
Okay.
And the memberships have increased slightly, but it's anywhere between the 6-month and annual resident on residents, about 10 or 15 to like at the very most about $25 more.
Well, to your point, I think you will get some people excited with that change, because we had quite a few complaints, but how are we communicating that to everybody so that we can get them to come in? Because people just don't go check your website every week.
Right. I think, we went out about a month ago, and the plan is to go back out to the resorts and to get a lot of our programming information, our admissions information, and the pickleball, obviously, to like, Margaritaville, Pink Shell, Diamond Head, but also some of these vacation travel companies. Like, we'd love to have them include our information in like their welcome packet that goes to like their, when the people come down on vacation. So I
Yeah,
think
I was specifically, how do we communicate it to the residents?
So I do know the newsletter that goes out. They take
Yeah, we have a
they take
monthly
it right
newsletter.
from Civic Rec, which are our members, and that gets emailed out to them. Which
Okay,
happens
so
to
that'll be
members.
coming out. The
Yeah, so
new
there-
rates will be mailed out. That was my question.
Emailed, yeah.
Or emailed out.
Yeah,
Okay,
and
thank you.
anybody can join that newsletter. But yeah, so Bay Oaks has a monthly, and then the town does like a monthly with all the departments updates, so. will be in both of those newsletters.
All right, are we,
I had a question for Neil, if you guys can hear me.
Okay.
Yes.
Not sure if you can hear me. You said there was audio issues last time. We had asked about checking into Silver Sneakers, the program, at our last meeting. And I'm wondering if you were able to do any research on that?
I did. I talked to an agent, and they said I needed to go online and do an application for the facility. They couldn't just give me an answer over the phone, so I did put in an application for Bay Oaks as a facility to offer Silver Sneakers. They did tell me it's a long process, so it's only, it hasn't been that long, but hopefully I'll hear something, if not by the end of this month, by sometime in November, if that's a possibility.
Yeah, and if anybody remembers that, we kept getting denied, because they said there was facilities within, a range that were
Right.
even off island, and we made the argument last time that it takes maybe sometimes an hour or two or more to get off the island, and it takes time to get on. So we did get approval before, and yeah, I remember from last time when we did this, and Danielle was really helping with it too, is we'd call for an update, and they said, no, you're just in the queue. They couldn't give any kind of update. We don't know. Whatever it says, you're in the queue. So we'll push a little harder, see what we can do with Silver Sneakers. But I know we were approved at one point. Whether that maybe ran out with all the storms, we'll see, but we'll work on it.
All right, Jeff, I would assume that you have a little experience in that from your prior life. If I still can't, I'm so sorry I'm on Zoom. My wife kept begging me to go on vacation. I got sick of saying no.
Question?
I did not understand what he said.
Just that last part.
Can you say that again?
We can hear you. It just was a little mumbled.
All right. I'm assuming that you have a little experience with this, Jeff, besides your last try with the Bay Oaks.
Yeah, I was working with Danielle, and then even before that, I worked with some recreation companies that we had Silver Sneakers. So it's just a different organization. I was in Minnesota at the time, and now dealing with Silver Sneakers Florida. You got to start all over from square one. But we are still working on it. We have gotten approved in the past 2 years or 3 years, right after probably 2 years after Ian. So we should be in the system as an approved site. It's just a matter of getting back online with the application.
I think it's an important issue. Can we add it to the agenda for a follow-up at each meeting?
You guys sure can. You set the agenda at the end of the meeting, so.
Great. All right, do we have any more staff updates?
I have one question on, Neil, you said that there's starting to get some outside users for events.
Right.
Are you working from some sort of brochure with like the new floor and just like the imagery that we have now to help sell getting use? I guess what I'm asking for is, do we
Right.
have something like that on hand, or
Some,
how soon could we get
we do.
to just like a hot sheet to,
Right.
with the conversations that I have with all the people that I know in national governing bodies, there are sports that we have ample space in that gym alone for regional competition. They're always looking for a new place to go. They generally work with the facility, whatever the visitors bureau is, and if there is a county or citywide sports visitors bureau. Those are like the three things that they have, but an initial contact, just a good one pager to be able to give.
Right.
There's some new offshoots of some sports that are old school sports. People will laugh at this, but you don't laugh at it when you see people coming to your town and staying in your town. Wrestling has an offshoot onto the sand. There are national competitions, and our national level wrestlers are winning those now, and it's something that the sports are always trying to sell themselves up to the International Olympic Committee as fun to watch, fun to do, fun to be around. They're doing it for the spectator, and they're doing it for the spectator on here. because
Right.
TVs, people don't watch that anymore from their perspective. That's a little bit of a tangent, but it's not, because even with, if we call what we have limited now, getting some of them in the door on regional stuff, that can grow as we grow. And we're, as wrestling as a funny example, it could not be more perfect to have the amount of gym space you have where they can roll in mats for training and they can compete out on the sand. So, I mean, there's stuff like that, but I don't know, it used to be called a hot sheet. I don't know what it's called now.
Yeah, sometimes they're rack cards even.
Yeah.
A rack card.
Just something that can be made available.
Yeah, or we had, I mean, we should update them. We had some, they didn't, I guess the funny, I guess it's not funny. is
Because with the
they
shiny
didn't
new
swim.
floors, the shiny new courts, all that sort of stuff.
No, and that's certainly something we
If
could
we can
develop.
get
Yeah.
But yeah, no, wrestling tournaments, I would be, I don't have a lot of contacts there, but that's
Yeah.
certainly something that would work in our space.
Yeah, and Lee
Perfect.
County does have a sports authority, I think is what it's called.
Yeah, I've worked with them on the open water swim that used to be
Yeah.
annual.
Yeah, so
Here.
I know they have a version of it that they promote, so maybe just getting information to them as they go out to, I think they travel nationwide to try to drum up business for Lee County, so. Yeah, that's definitely a good suggestion.
And since I've been the squeaky wheel around pools, not just everybody's ears here, but at USA Swimming, at World Aquatics, and all those sorts of places, they're now asking me, how's the progress? So all of that being squeaky is building momentum. They're a few years now into using a facility north of here in a triathlon lake. Never want to be disparaging to anyone. It rhymes with Smaris Moda. And the facility is not this facility, meaning the Gulf, and they want back. And the Olympic Games are going to be in relatively calm, relatively warm salt water. So training opportunities and build-up competitions, local kids won't come, national federations from around the world will come here. So the more promotional info we can get, the better.
So I'm just wondering, when you talk about rack cards, because that could go into all the hotels here, it can go into the chamber. That could be something, because I know we don't have a budget for it, but it certainly could be something that the Friends group could actually fund, I would think, and put together with the help of people in Bay Oaks.
Yeah, I mean, I think, honestly, I don't know for sure, but I think Nicole put together the rack card for Mount House and maybe Mooring Field, I'm not sure, but
Okay.
yeah, to get one.
But I mean, there's printing costs involved with all of
Yeah.
it, so, printing and distribution, so.
But the thing about that now is if you build the document, 10,000 or 1,000 or 100 or 10 stickers with QR codes, absolutely blows away the budget of needing to print like we had to do all the time.
Right,
And,
exactly.
if in every room for temporary lodging on this island and surrounding ones has a sticker somewhere in it with a QR code, sometimes you get some really funny stuff when you push that button. But it could be informative, and if somebody's coming here, there are fitness classes, and those decisions are now being made by people before they even book where they're going.
Yeah, and
And a
pre
QR
Ian-
code
I'm
beats
sorry.
it all.
Pre-Ian, we did have corporate memberships from some of the resorts.
Yeah.
And it was a lot of, not the bigger ones, but some of the smaller ones, like Myerside for sure was right there. They did the corporate one, so they had pretty much a membership for each room. So if you stayed in the room, you could use the pool, and they paid for that. So yeah, bringing that back as we get some of these, mid to smaller size resorts online. And if the Margaritaville's and the Pink Shells and the Diamond Heads want to latch on too, that's fine with us. But
And
a
that's
lot of
what-
times they have their own workout facility, but
And the cost now only really needs to be compiling the information in one document online, and then you just get sent to it.
I know the kids are into like Instagram and stuff too, but we'll see.
We did have two of the members of Friends of Bay Oaks who offered up free photography.
Yes.
So they're professional photography, which is linked through Alex King's.
Yeah, he sent that to me after we talked at
Good.
the
So
opening,
we've
so,
got
and
two
they're
of 'em who
beautiful,
offered-
so.
yeah.
Their drone footage
Yeah.
too, so you can see that.
Yeah.
It'd be nice when we, especially when we get the grass all set at the park and, thing in there, just to get a nice shot. I need a new picture for my wall anyway.
That's the first I heard of the corporate memberships. I think that's a great thing to continue to follow up on. I didn't realize we had those in the past. All right. Do we have any other staff items? All right, then I guess we're gonna move on to member items, and since they've been so quiet, Rick, I'm gonna let you start with, do you have any member items? Being any issues that you'd like to discuss?
What about the discussion one?
Oops, oh,
I'm sorry you cut out.
whoops, oh, hang on. Items for discussion, my apologies, I'll come back. Items for discussion, proposal of future events at Bay Oaks.
Yeah, so I can kind of start us off with that, but it's kind of our idea, now that we've got this multi-use field going in, we'd love to be able to use that for like larger, like concert type events, and I kind of, Barbara brought up the idea, I guess, years back, we used to do like, kind of like a taste of the beach, but I think it would be great to have like a, all-day weekend event where we have some of the local restaurants come out and it's like a sample of everybody's, favorite dish at each restaurant. And maybe it's like a $20 or $25 the day of entry fee where you get a sample of everybody and then we, can have all these different, vendors come out and have tents. And then also have like live music, maybe have some rides and stuff for the kids, just make it like a huge, like a yearly event for the town.
Doesn't the chamber
I haven't
do that,
gone
though?
too far with it, so I don't want to.
Are they doing,
Get too
have they done it?
specific?
I know they didn't do
used-
it
They
this
used to
year.
do it.
'Cause
The
they used to-
chamber used to do it.
They used to
and,
close down OSC, I think, to do it, right?
They
Or they did in
have
the
gone
last couple
over
years.
to Salty Sam's,
Oh.
doing it the last time, but I don't know if they're doing it anymore. Let's put it that way.
Something similar, and,
But they used to do it every year.
yeah, and I know, we've talked a little bit about it, now it's kind of, with the whole Friends deal, that'd be a good event for them to plan.
Right.
And raise money for Bay Oaks, so.
But we could,
Just a
we
thought.
can check with the chamber. Dana, or Dela is the events coordinator there. And just check, and if they're not going to be doing it, then it would be a great event.
Or maybe they'd like to have it at Bay Oaks.
Yeah, or exactly, in
Right.
conjunction with the chamber, and they could have it at Bay Oaks.
Exactly,
Yep,
which keeps it on the island.
right. Yeah, we just ran out of places to have it.
Who do we have follow up with the chamber? I don't have any connections there.
I will, I'll talk to Jackie, Lisek, and
Okay.
we just had a meeting with her last night too,
Okay.
so, we meet once in a while with her.
But yeah, if they're not interested, then I would say, to your point, Jeff, we can move it over to the Friends of Bay Oaks.
Yeah, I think it's those kind of things that I think the Friends, we could, at least suggest, or, I mean, I'm sure they'll come up with their own. The two gentlemen that I met with, were really enthusiastic, so thank you. I know you'll give an update about that, but I was really impressed with kind of the ideas they wanted, and even some ideas for the rec center that they'd like to see that Friends probably could pay for, so.
All right, anything else on that topic? All right, then moving on to member items. Rick, we'll let you start.
All set. I'm all set. Thank you very much.
All right. Ed, do you have anything?
I don't have anything additional to add.
All right. John?
I think I've said enough.
Karen, do you have anything to add?
No, I don't at this time.
Joy?
Yes, I have a couple things. So as a representative also of the Community Foundation, I just wanted to let everyone know that I am planning a pickleball tournament, March 21. And the theme for this year is going to be March Madness. And we're gonna just take a little play off of the basketball theme and show a pickleball going into a basketball hoop, just for fun, you know. So that's in the works, and I'm working with both Neil and Jeff to get our application in so that we can get approval from the town council. And then I also, in that last meeting, did ask about the concession stand, just because I was just curious about, I know it's being repurposed for offices, which is fine. I mean, it's, you guys got to do what you got to do. However, I was just curious from a foundation perspective, we're happy to suggest that you use the donation that we gave, I don't know, a couple years ago for another purpose. Just curious as to if you have given that any thought.
So yeah, so the concession stand has been repurposed to it's now called the Public Works Office. Since we don't have any facilities, that is our facility. And no, I know I had to leave early that time, but I know Neil did bring it up. My thoughts were either to, you know, come back to the foundation and just see if they had any suggestions on what they may want to use it, or we still have a, I guess, quasi concession stand in Bay Oaks, so possibly we could use some of that for a concession stand, or at least a snack bar, you know, something in there that the residents can use, and you know, try to find a volunteer to maybe sit in there. But
Where is that in Bay Oaks?
what's that?
The
The
concession?
kitchen? The kitchen area, yeah.
Well, but where,
Oh, what?
Oh, on the side of the
You know
gym.
that the restroom that's in the gym?
Yeah.
The ADA one? Right next there's a window?
yeah,
That's the,
Oh,
where
that's
it is.
the-
So if you go in those doors, I think there's 3 or 4 doors, it's right around by the restrooms, by the men's restroom.
okay.
Well, just off from the women's, I don't know. Men's restroom's a good reference, but.
I think the foundation is fine with whatever you all choose. We'd just
Okay.
like to know what it is.
Currently, it's earmarked still for the concession stand at the ball field. So I'm glad you brought that up, because it's something that we haven't probably thought about, because we haven't been thinking about using that. But
Okay,
we'll get there.
thank you.
And it was actually talked about last month that was to be a separate agenda item for this month to really, you know,
Okay.
grasp on. So thank you, Jill, for bringing that up.
So yeah, we can, we'll talk, and
$9,000.
Yes, it's a fair number.
Right.
you know, and that's, I guess if BORCAB has some recommendations too, we'll take those. But yeah, I think there are things I think we already bought a popcorn machine and a couple of with that, which has been used at Bay Oaks. So maybe it's more appropriate to buy a few things for that kitchen. So when we do have special events, we don't have a licensed kitchen. That's one of the issues. But I think we could sell snacks and things like that out of there. Just no hot food.
Is your staff that is positioned now in the
You need your mic.
concession building? Oh, sorry. Is your staff currently positioned in that concession building a long-term solution or a short-term solution?
Well, what's long term? we
To your point, though, Joy, what would,
we would love to build a public works facility, and or I mean we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shed facilities. No, more than that. 6, 7. Yeah, we had 2 on the carport, 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, probably 7 or maybe more on the island, but we can't use those anymore because of the flood regulations, so we have to build up. So we don't really have anything on the lowers part. We have a table and stuff at the concession stand, but upstairs we redid them all with offices. So long term would be yes, I would love to have a public works facility, just like I'd love to have a utilities facility or, you know, those things.
was there not space available in this new town hall?
There's not.
Okay.
Plus, no, there was not. I mean, there's not. Because it's centralized down there. Sometimes it takes a lot of staff time to come this way, we know that. But no, that's where they keep all their trucks, that's where they keep, you know, actually the pool right now, I hate to say, is where we keep a lot of locked storage. We just don't have any space. I mean, we'd love to have even the Kubotas and the trucks underneath some kind of awning. You know, a space for our guys to take their lunch break, take their breaks, cool off when it's hot out. I mean, we have limited space up there, but it gets pretty cramped. But it's just one of the, I guess, the wish list items for the town. I mean, that's something that we don't talk about in this, but there's a lot of those items that we would like to do, facility-wise, but just, again, funding right now.
So all the equipment will continue to be kept at Bay Oaks because we don't have any other place for it. Like the offices, they're having to use them for because they've got all back by the bathrooms in the baseball field, all of the trucks and everything for the town are all parked back there. That's because that's the only spot we have. Okay, so those will continue to be back there. I guess I like the idea of looking at the concession stand inside of the facilities, not knowing that they've got nothing else left down there.
Yeah.
So, again, let's add it to the agenda item and come back with some proposals.
Sure.
If
I mean, we can
donated
definitely get
9,000,
some
we
small
deserve
ticket
that.
items, you know, so if people want them, or we want to throw, like the popcorn machine we've used, you know, we used it for the open house, and, you know, I have to look at the list that we made, that was quite a long time ago, that we made it for the community foundation, but, you know, there was a nacho machine, I believe, and hot dog roller and all that stuff, so, yeah, I think we can
Great.
find a good use for
Joy,
that.
do you have anything else? No. Welcome. So this is the opportunity to bring up anything, items that you personally have for us. I don't know if you have anything, Annie, putting you on the spot.
I don't know if this is the right spot for it, but I did notice that there was a lot of weeds growing out of the fitness court. And I know it's Florida, I know they just like pop up overnight, but I do think we need some weed control there.
You got it. We will, the only thing we use is vinegar, so we will get that pulled. We'll talk to the staff down there, the PW staff, and get that taken care of, but I appreciate that.
Thank you.
And that guy that works everywhere, he is fantastic. I told Neil the other day, he's
Jimmy.
always
Big Jim.
doing something.
Big Jim or Jimmy? Jim,
Big Jim, yeah.
which we all know his
Yeah,
son works
it's a
at
real
Baylor's
big,
Gym.
tall guy
Yeah.
that's everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's,
Anything else?
I did notice that the weeds were taken down once.
the
in
weeds?
Fitness court, yeah. They went down, but they seem to be coming back.
Yes, we will keep a closer eye on that, for the fitness. court.
Excellent.
Yes.
Did you skip Barbara?
Nope, I was going to Barbara next. Barbara, do you have anything?
Nothing else to report. It was a pleasure serving as the
Yes, and
vice
thank
chair
you.
for all these years, but the BORCAB is in good hands with both Michelle and Joy. Congratulations.
Thank you, but if you would stay sitting next to me to get me through.
Oh, you're so sweet.
Oh,
Yeah, it's kind of strange having to think about procedural things, like if Michelle needs help with that, because it was already just automatically done.
Well, and I do have to say, it wasn't until halfway through this meeting did I realize there actually is a gavel. So here we go, officially turning it over to you, Michelle.
oh, there we go. Thank you. In just going through the notes, I wanted to add one item that actually Rick brought up when we were at the last meeting and Rick, maybe you could give a little history on that. Your thought was that the roof at Bay Oaks needed to get recoated. Can you give a little bit more background when you brought that up in the meeting last time?
Yeah, I think before Ian, we coated it once with a lifetime. It had, I think, an 8-year, you could correct me if I'm wrong, but, so I think, you know, after the storm, seeing that might have taken more than a year's off of that lifespan. You know, that roof's a lot of money to replace it, and we coated it, and obviously coating it is a lot easier. And being that, you know, building and its importance to the community, I just wanted to make sure that we're on tune, that in those years coming up, that we'll have that money in the budget to replace it, so.
We'll try to get money in we've been doing some work on it. A lot of during Hurricane Ian, actually in Helene and Milton and the rest of them in the last few years, it's been popping some heads off of the screws on there, so the leaks will come through. So we do have a company that comes and reseals those, at least temporarily. We did get a recommendation to replace the roof. We've gotten a lot of recommendations on a lot of things that we just can't do right now. So I do appreciate that, that heads up and that knowledge and that historical data. And we can look at the warranty on that. Do you remember what company it was?
Rick, do you remember which
Probably got
company
the
did it?
information Somewhere.
I can look too, but I didn't know if you knew off the top of your
Everything
head.
that no, everything that I had, I lost every file.
Yeah, no, I understand.
I might have it on a hard drive. I'll see if I can find it.
We'd have it, we'd have it too, through our system as part of the contractor, but I just wanted to know if he had an idea. Be easier to look up.
Yeah, I'll look and see.
All right, then the last one, which we are excited to announce that the Fund of Bay Oaks officially has a board. They have got a president, vice president, marketing, admin. We even had somebody volunteer to take on the finance side and do the taxes. So they kicked off last week. The proposal is, if everybody's all right, is we were going to be, if the town's okay, is have that group meet here 2 hours before our meeting. If they could do that,
Would it be more appropriate to have them down at Bay Oaks, since that's where they're raising money from?
we could.
We'd have to rent this out probably,
Okay, so could they use Bay Oaks then?
for sure, yeah, the community
Alright.
room, I think that would be more appropriate since
Okay,
they're,
that's fine. They are professionally running. They've got team meetings that uploads the notes, and they're up and operating. So they're gonna be having their next kickoff meeting here in the next 30 days, and I'm very excited. The good news is we have the check.
Yay.
So they have.
see, it was there the whole time.
Yeah, right. How many years was it?
Oh, you don't even want to hear what happened next, but it's in the account, so we are set up at Sandcap. We have little over $18,700 in that account to get that group started. So they attended the grand opening, and Jeff and Neil, I got them introduced to the group. So we're really excited to have them on board and get them off and running.
I just want to add, maybe you were going to, is it Tom?
Tom Kitty, yes.
Yeah, he actually he lived on the island for a while, came down to Bay Oaks as a kid, so it's really cool to see that cycle come through, that he remembers it. He remembers what it was like when, after school care had 100 kids or 80 kids, but it's cool because he can envision what it used to be, and I think he's got a good vision of what he'd like for Bay Oaks too.
Yeah, excited about the whole group. So we've got Bill Murphy, who's been here on the island for years, actually runs multiple 501c3s organizations. He's the president. Dawn Fleming, who's here full-time on a basis, is right now taking on the secretary and the finance portion of it. And then many of you know Jack, which would be Trista's husband, is also another one. So that's what we've got, just a great group to get started. We are still looking for additional members, as there's a few of us here that can be members, and we are looking for another board member. So, but they are fully operational. We're excited. They're working on logos. They're working on, we will not miss the next event. We will have a table there. So
Good.
that's all.
Yeah, and just as a reminder, you can all be members of the Friends of Bay Oaks. You just can't sit on the board and have a voting right. So I just encourage, if you want to be a member, or anybody listening, all the thousands that are listening,
Yes.
that we are taking memberships, and that money does go back to Bay Oaks at some point. So that's,
Now, is that a paid membership or is that a volunteer membership? How does that work?
They're working on that. Yeah.
Okay.
Using a lot of the Friends of Lovers Key's been phenomenal in helping us with getting just the legal portion of it all up and rolling, and using some ideas from them. So they're really just starting to pull something, starting to look at benchmarking other organizations and how we're going to do that with the input. So we really just got the crew started, introduced to staff, and they're fired up, though. I love it. They're fired up.
yeah, and I just wanted, since we had the training this morning, and maybe John wants to speak to it more, just if you're at an event together, just be careful, with sunshine law. Even though you're not a voting member of the Friends, it still could be a violation. So I just want to, I guess today is the day for sunshine law training, and I'll just poke that in too.
I cannot confirm nor deny any said knowledge of less
Nice.
sunshine laws. I don't know.
It looked like you were awake during it. That was great, though. I watched a little bit.
Yeah, it was outstanding. So come to it as a refresher because things do change as times change. And I was on it, I think, the first time it was offered under Zoom, and it was very difficult because it was during the worst of the Zoom times here.
Yeah.
Nearly
And it is
post-storm.
on our
Yeah.
website, so it was recorded, so it's on there if you want to go back and take a look. So,
It was great. I did have one thing.
Yes.
So I lied earlier.
That's all right, go ahead.
And it's I don't know, it's a weird on the personal side. Flowers, some trees were planted, and a modest donation was made to Betty in her memorial. And now that I have good sunshine training, I know that I did it right. Very carefully worded from the volunteers of BORCAB. So that was just
Thank you.
couldn't be there, so. yeah.
thank you.
First class.
John. Yes. And we could probably discuss that too. Maybe we should do, I'll say maybe, because I'll take your recommendations to put a memorial bench down at Bay Oaks along the walking path, because we're going to be putting some there.
Absolutely.
Great idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be fantastic.
You read my mind.
Absolutely. Absolutely, go ahead.
The other, we've been talking a little bit more about pocket parks, which sounds weird because we don't have a budget for matching funds. When we talked to our lobbyists, they suggested that we just put, since we have an address, and Ed, this is the one over by you with that circular building. Can't remember the address. I think it's down to under 600,000, maybe 550. Is that we're gonna push it through and try to get it without a match. We're gonna try. We're still working on it because they're due here coming up, but that is a conversation that we've had in doing that. And I can't remember what. Oh, and then the one by there's a location over kind of towards Mountain House that we possibly put in. It's more money, but usually we've been putting, if we do that for the Mountain House or Newton, we put down a 50% match for land acquisition. But we're gonna maybe try to put it through and see what happens. They don't necessarily, I don't know, I mean, with appropriations, with state appropriations, sometimes, they don't like us not putting a match to it. For some of the other things, storm sewer, those kind of things that we've gotten, we put a 50% match to it. They kind of like that, but I think, talking to our lobbyists, we might just try it because we're so limited on parks. So we are still working on that. I just wanted to bring that up.
Oh, that was so great for the south side.
Oh, yes, and that is one of my personal goals, is to get more pocket parks, and especially on the south side, because that seems to be a great location.
Thank you,
and,
Ed.
Yeah, thanks, Ed, for that suggestion.
Thank
But
you, Jeff.
well, I mean, we did give the address, and with the listing, we had to put in the appropriations. So I think it's going to be submitted, unless the lobbyists have a different idea. But we were kind of shocked because normally it needs a match, and we just don't have any match for that. So that might be a little bit of hope, good news hope. So
We could use all that we can get.
yeah.
Absolutely. All right, we have no more public comment. Next meeting, here I got the new position and I'm already asking for a change. I have a schedule conflict on the 12th, so I don't know if we could do the meeting on the 19th.
Well, it's supposed to be on the 19th anyway.
Oh, is it the third Wednesday?
I thought it was.
Yeah,
Oh.
the third.
Okay, the 19th, perfect.
You don't want to switch it then?
No, the 19th is when I can do.
So 19th at 12.
All right. if we-
Michelle, I just wanted to mention, just so I mention it before I forget, because it's in my head. After the meetings, we will have the minutes here for you to sign.
Okay,
So then we'll leave those, I can take those up
All right.
to the clerk's office, but it's just one of those procedural things. I know, when it was down at Bay Oaks, I always brought it with me, so I want to try to get it to the clerk's office so I don't get yelled at.
all right, I'll
So.
stay and take care of that.
And then it's typically up to BORCAB to set your next agenda. And then that's kind of the last item, next agenda meeting and date. So we have the date. What do you want on there for as far as agenda?
Going through here, is the concession
Okay.
stands is the follow-up, the roof coatings. I'd like to keep that Demand Star pool quotes, the pool specific subject.
And taste out.
Yeah,
Silver sneakers.
yep, silver sneakers.
Oh, yeah, got it.
One I didn't bring up, but if we could put it on the agenda for the next week, when I see your staff report, I see a lot of talk about the goals, the strategic goals. I think it would be great for this group to review those.
Well, I'm sorry, it's still on. Yes, I agree with you. I know Barbara would agree with you. We're working on that with CellCab too. We've kind of been waiting for the town. We do have them. I don't know how many of them are actually current anymore. Probably not after Ian. And we've kind of been waiting because the town is going through their strategic planning right now. But we can definitely start the ball rolling. And I know we talked about even CellCab, like, well, they're not going to be specific to what the towns are and kind of follow under that. But you're right, it's a good time to start thinking about some of our goals at least, to put them into a strategic plan, because I don't know, Karen, do you know when that's supposed to be complete? I forgot.
I want to say that it's coming, I don't know, I think it's coming to an M&P first in November. I could be wrong about
I
that.
think it's sooner than later, but I don't.
Yeah, I want to say it's in November, but I think it's coming to M&P first before it actually goes to council.
Okay.
But I can check on it.
Yeah, so you're right, Michelle. Now would be a great time to start talking about those long-term goals, short-term goals, those kind of things.
I agree, especially with the alliance with Friends of Bay Oaks coming from you. And then I guess I'd like to see a category, and I'm gonna say like advertising, marketing, campaigning. We've brought up a lot of good ideas. Like, I'd like to see the brochures when they're updated. The fee schedules brought here. I love this corporate membership idea. But if we could see, when you originally, Neil, we started talking about the fees, is I think campaigning the whole Bay Oaks as a facility, and, you know, being able to utilize that for other events, and just having us all
Yeah.
take a look at that, and just being able to start promoting it. So kind of, you know, where we can help go out and promote it. So like
Sure.
just a little category there. Is there any other ones that anybody can think of to put underneath that category?
One of the issues that I thought was so helpful when I was hearing about the reforming of the Friends of Bay Oaks was that you then have this great opportunity to go out to the community to raise funds for a specific event. Say, for example, like the Taste of the Town, which the Chamber did, but that could be a co-sponsorship or a partnership between the Chamber and the town to have this event at Bay Oaks, which was this multi-purpose purpose, that was the idea that we could have these kinds of events. And that would give you sort of a marker as to how you go out and raise funds, now that you've got the Friends operation going, to say something specific, not just general promotion of Bay Oaks, but say, raise funds for this purpose. So with what the long-range goals are that BORCAB has set up, or the staff has set up, to say, these are the things we want to do that we do not have funding for, that Friends can now go out and raise money for. It establishes the raison d'etre for why that event makes sense.
And I'll send out the most recent strategic report, which I believe was either 2018 or 2020, maybe it got
Yeah,
revised.
it was before Ian, and around that same time as COVID, where we weren't even
Yes.
having meetings. So yes, it's been years, and I think it was updated in 2018. Both CellCab and BORCAB were both.
Yeah, I mean, it's
We
definitely.
had a great plan years ago. It was wonderful, but
Love to see it.
nothing has happened since then. Yeah.
Great.
On the strategic plan. Things have
Maybe
been
you could-
happening.
Maybe just, I don't know, have you not ever seen it? And certainly our new members
No,
have not seen
when I
it.
I'm
first
gonna
joined,
send it
Jeff
out.
showed it to me, yeah, but I think it'd be worthwhile, especially with the new members, to take a look at it again and just what
Maybe
worked.
an emailed copy of the plan, even though we know it's obsolete, it just kind of helps
Mm-hmm.
give the format as to what the short and long-term goals
Yes.
were, and who was responsible for implementing those strategic ideas.
Yeah, I'll send it out before I leave today, so I don't forget.
There you go. Awesome.
Great, and I apologize, we should have just I had requested this for the meeting. So this is the layout, our new layout, so just validating, we're getting 2 soccer fields?
No, that's just a placeholder that shows that 2
Okay.
full-size soccer fields could
All right,
fit in
so
there. I mean,
right
we
now-
could do, you could do lacrosse, you could do,
Okay, so
Whatever
right
you
now,
want.
we just have the 4 pickleball courts that's in the, going forward. So, but that's kind of.
that's all that was part of that grant for right now, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right,
If
so.
there's, if
So
we want to
this
talk
would-
about that next week and have some ideas, just
Yes.
ideas, you know how much money we
Yes.
got to spend, but,
Well, again,
it's always a strategic goal to do that as part
Yeah.
of a plan, so yes.
Facilities update, and also Friends of Bay Oaks requested this, so.
Yes, of course.
And not to scale, but I already added a 50-meter pool to that.
Not to
It's
scale.
not even a rectangle, but it's
Where's the
there.
Olympic pool?
It's in here.
Oh,
All right,
It's the piece of property that's gonna get donated to us.
all right. Do we have anything else? All right. We can adjourn?
motion to adjourn,
Motion to adjourn?
so.
So-
moved.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
I
Meeting adjourned.
There we go.